What happened just a few days ago, actually, uh, was by far one of the best pranks I have ever been, not really a part of, but have received. It was really just funny. You had to be there. When I explain it, I don't think it's going to be as funny, but it really was a really good prank. So, what happened was, around this week, a few days, like, I think on Tuesday, one of my members of my server on Discord had a complaint against an admin, and they were saying that this admin abused their powers and should have them revoked. So we had like a little court case, and in the end, the admin was punished, but for like really just a slap on the wrist because that all he did was just delete the guy's messages and nothing else. He only did that mainly because, well, they weren't in the right chat, and there was a rule against that. You're not supposed to put the wrong thing in the wrong chat. And if you do, then an administrator has the right to delete them, and so the guy was upset about this, and blah blah blah, and somehow the topic of transphobic just came up and was like, what? So he was upset, and he kind of did a few things, and we ended up banning him. And it wasn't until the next day on another server, another D&D server, he announced that he's making his own server, that he's going to make it better than mine, that his is going to be a democratic and equal server. So I joined, and I wasn't upset. I was kind of a bit pissed, but not really like, oh, how could you, but more or less just, bruh, really? So I texted, well, commented or whatever, everything that kind of bothered me. Like, I was kind of bothered by the fact that the thing was solved. He didn't really do anything, the administrator, and yet here we are. He's still upset and makes his own server, and he's saying that his server is going to be better than mine because mine's too chaotic. There's no rules. There's no nothing. It's just messy. And so he said that everyone here will be equal. And so I started saying that make me an admin. If everyone's going to be equal, then we all have to be admins, because that's how it's going to work. And then he said, well, it's going to be very democratic, unlike yours. Well, if it's going to be democratic, then we have to vote for our leaders. And nobody voted for you to be the administrator. So although this server is small, people still have to vote for their leader and veto you out. So yeah, democracy doesn't really work on a Discord server, necessarily. And so, back and forth, back and forth. What happened then was that we stopped, but the war was still going on. It was like a mental war. He knew if he kicked and banned me, I would win, because that was going against his server being equal, being better than mine. And if I did the same on mine, which, actually, no, hold on. Oh yeah, I didn't ban him yet. I banned him before. Ah shit, I'm confusing myself. Anyway, so we went on and on and on, and then I was banned. But it wasn't by him, it was by one of his administrators. But that doesn't matter. That still means I won. Because the mental war was that whoever was banned first was the winner. If that makes sense or not. I don't think that makes sense, but it did to me at the time. So it was like victory for me and blah 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 blah. And we were having like kind of a party or something. Like we were having a game. We were doing a game, and a lot of people were in. And one guy joined the server. It was a new guy, and he was all like, "Hey, I saw on this server that you were kind of antagonizing this other guy. That's not really cool, dude." And it's like he started it for being a prick, and so he was a pretty chill guy. Nothing bad about him. Nothing really out of the ordinary, and so it was like, you're cool. Come hang out with us in the voice chat. And he did. His voice sounded very familiar. It was like the guy we just banned, but a bit more mature and like. So here's the thing: the guy that we banned. Now, I don't know if this is gonna sound rude or anything, but I hope it doesn't. And if it does, I'm very, very sorry. But we couldn't identify the dude's gender. I mean, their voice was so weird. It was like it could sound like a guy, but it could also sound like a girl. So we just called them they. But they were all like, "Don't call me they." It was just like, "What do we call you then?" Instead, just don't call me anything. It was like, "Oh man, I'm so confused." But this guy was definitely a guy. It was very obvious. And so we were just going and going. Then it hit me. It was like, wait a minute, is this the same guy? It was like, everyone was all like, nah, man, this isn't him. And so I was like, okay. Then he's just the better version. And so we started calling him Better Blank. So we just started calling him that. We actually got the old guy's profile picture, and we gave it to him, and so he changed his name to Better Blank, and used his profile pic as his, and it was really funny. But here's the best thing. So, in the voice chat, I'm just gonna say names because I'm confusing myself now. We had me, my buddy Heroism, the administrator who was on the court. We had Pouch. We had a guy called Xeon. We had Randall. I think Shades was there. Shades is a cool dude. And finally, we had Better Wiggins. Wiggins was the guy that we banned. And so Better Wiggins he was really cool. He was like he was really fun. He was a fun guy. And so finally Pouch, I think I said Pouch? Yeah. Pouch, another guy. He was like, "Hey guys, Wiggins is texting me." And he did, and he said, "Who the fuck is Better Wiggins and why is he on my server?" Better Wiggins joined not just my server, but also Wiggins' server, because he was all like, "I'm gonna join both." And he did, and it was hilarious to us. And so we were all like, let's push this further. Let's do it further, and we did, and it was really fun. Then we were all like, wait, let's make another server, call it Wiggins server, change all our names to Wiggins, just with a slight variation, like God Wiggins, Gold Wiggins, Super Wiggins, or something, and change all our profile pics to Wiggins and invite him and just whatever. And we waited, but he never came. It was like, my moral compass was starting to take control, and I was like, I don't think this is a good idea. I think we're bullying this kid, and I don't like that anymore, and we're really bad people. And then Better Wiggins revealed themselves to be the actual Wiggins, just using their real voice. Apparently, they are a really good voice actor or something, because we could not tell at all. There was like a slight hint, but he just like, it was so difficult to find out until the very end, and we all laughed. He played us, and he did it good. And after that, I unbanned the guy, and I was like, dude, you're a legend. Like, after this, you so deserve to be unbanned just of how fun and clever everything was. And so, yeah, that's the story of the best prank I have experienced so far in my life.